All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
If there's brilliance in that, then I'm appreciative to that, and I'm trying to be a brilliant person, not a brilliant comedian.
When it comes to Katt Williams, you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. The man is a walking headline machine, and if there's one thing he's known for, besides his razor-sharp comedic timing, it's his unfiltered opinions. Whether he's on stage, in an interview, or even just caught on camera, Katt has a knack for flipping the script and putting everyone, yes, everyone, on blast. And when it comes to politics, the man doesn't hold back. At all. So, what does Katt Williams really think about the state of American politics? Better buckle up because it's as wild as you'd imagine.
A lot of that just didn't happen, and that's what I've learned more from comedy is that Republicans laugh at the exact same thing that Democrats laugh at.
Let's start with the fact that Katt Williams has made a career out of calling out hypocrisy, and politicians are his favorite target. This isn't your typical late-night comedian throwing out a few predictable jokes about the president. Oh no, Katt goes deep. Whether it's Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or even the system at large, Katt has something to say, and it's usually something that's equal parts hilarious, biting, and painfully honest. Take his commentary on Donald Trump, for instance. During his Supreme ad back in 2020, Katt lit into Trump with the kind of wit that only he can deliver. Right now, we have a perfectly suitable clown running the free world, he said, setting the tone for a 6-minute takedown of Trump's bizarre leadership style. He didn't stop there. Katt went on to mock Trump's infamous suggestion about using disinfectant as a treatment, quipping, "The man said if you have bleach, rub it on yourself, sprinkle some in your eye. You see any UV light, walk in front of it." The crowd, or rather the virtual audience, since this was during the pandemic, didn't need to be there in person to feel the burn. Katt's disdain for Trump's antics was crystal clear. "These are serious times," he said. "The president is a clown."
Trump don't follow nobody's rules. We done already seen what America could be like if they had a nice, sensible president. Now we finna see what America is like with a bully in that.
But here's the thing, Katt doesn't just stop at Trump. He's an equal opportunity critic when it comes to political figures. In fact, he's gone on record saying that neither side of the aisle offers much hope for the American people. During his now infamous interview with Shannon Sharpe on the Club Shay Shay podcast, Katt doubled down on his disillusionment with politics.
Politics.
Never talk about it. I'm not that controversial.
Where are we headed, Katt?
This is sad. We've never been here before.
This is sad. We've never been here before. We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us in real life. He didn't name names, but you didn't have to be a mind reader to figure out he was talking about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Katt painted the 2024 election as a lose-lose scenario, comparing it to an impossible choice. It's like, would you rather go back with your ex or go back with the person before them?
We've never been at the point where neither option is good for us in real life.
No.
This is a different conversation. This is, would you rather go back with your ex or would you rather go back with the person before them?
And let's not forget his commentary on Biden. While Katt's criticisms of Trump are often loud and full of colorful language, his takes on Biden are more subtle, but just as biting. He's hinted at the president's age and cognitive abilities, saying in the same Club Shay Shay interview, one guy can barely put his sentences together, and the other guy will put sentences together for whatever he's read or whoever told him. Ouch, it's clear that Katt sees both political leaders as flawed, and he's not afraid to say it.
Both bad options, like one guy can barely put his sentences together and the other guy will put sentences together from whatever he's read or whoever told him.
But Katt doesn't stop at the individuals in power. Oh no, his critique goes much deeper. For Katt, the entire political system is one big mess, an institution that's more about maintaining the status quo than serving the people. His frustration is palpable, and it's something he's expressed time and time again. During his Supreme ad, Katt pleaded with people to vote, but you could hear the exhaustion in his voice. Even if your choices were as dumb as Hickory, Dickory, and Dock, make a choice, he said. It was both a call to action and a scathing indictment of how broken the system has become.
But how did we get here? How do we get here?
All division divides. There's no way around that. All division divides. politics. Even in the beginning when our Constitution was drawn up, the two parties was not what they had in mind.
No.
They always thought that it would be two main and another independent party.
And it's not just the elections that get under Katt's skin. He's also been vocal about issues like police brutality, systemic racism, and the way America handles crises. In that same Supreme ad, he addressed the slaying of George Floyd, calling it televised misconduct, and connected it with the broader struggles of the Black community. We can all agree that breathing is important, he said, and we can all agree that putting your knee on someone's neck for 8 minutes is just plain wrong. Once again, Katt wasn't afraid to call it like he sees it, even if it made people uncomfortable.
We're not in a fair fight. We're already outmatched and outgunned at all points.
But here's the twist. For all his cynicism, Katt Williams still manages to inject a sense of hope, or at least a challenge to his audience, to do better. He's not just ranting for the sake of it, he's trying to wake people up. He's the guy yelling from the rooftops, hoping that anyone will listen. He kept most of the jokes in quarantine, he said in the Supreme ad, acknowledging the seriousness of the times. But if you got some information out of it, he appreciates that. He's already done more than an elected official.
Something you wish you were better at.
Dealing with liars.
What's fascinating about Katt is that his political commentary isn't just about politics. It's about life, society, and the human condition. He's not interested in being a cheerleader for any party or ideology. Instead, he's carving out a space where he can call out the nonsense on all sides. Whether he's roasting Trump, throwing shade at Biden, or tearing into the system itself, Katt makes it clear that he's not here to play favorites. He's here to tell the truth, or at least his version of it. And maybe that's what makes Katt Williams so compelling. He's not afraid to say what everyone else is thinking or what they're too scared to say out loud. He's the comedian who doesn't care if he burns bridges as long as he gets his point across. And in a world where so many people tiptoe around sensitive topics, Katt's willingness to go there, wherever there is, feels like a breath of fresh air. Or maybe a slap in the face. Either way, you're paying attention.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
But let's be real, Katt's unfiltered style isn't for everyone. His political commentary has drawn its fair share of criticism, especially from those who feel he's too harsh or overly cynical. Some have accused him of being all talk and no solutions, while others see his rants as proof that he's just another celebrity out of touch with reality. Still, there's no denying that Katt Williams has a unique voice, and one that refuses to be silenced.
Gil, I remember walking out, and CJ, the producer of the show, he's like, Shannon, this is gonna blow up the internet.
So, where does this leave us? Is Katt Williams the truth teller we need, or just another loud voice in an already noisy world? That's up for debate. But one thing's for sure, when Katt speaks, people listen, even if they don't always like what he has to say. And honestly, isn't that the whole point? This brings us to the real heart of the matter. What drives Katt Williams to be so outspoken? Not just about...
But it just took off. Yeah. And everybody was just shaking their head. I was like, what? They're like, Shannon, this is gonna go crazy.
Let's get into what may be the most fascinating and some might say controversial aspect of Katt Williams' career, his unshakable knack for conflict. Love him or hate him, the man has a way of stirring the pot, especially among his peers in the entertainment world. At this point, it's almost a rite of passage in Hollywood. If you haven't been roasted, called out, or at least side-eyed by Katt Williams, are you even relevant? But here's the kicker. Katt doesn't just throw shade for the fun of it. No, his feuds are deeply personal, often laced with a sense of betrayal or a need to set the record straight. And if you think he cares about burning bridges, think again. Katt Williams has made it clear that he's far more interested in telling his truth than in playing nice.
To be a choice 20 years ago that I'm not gonna wear makeup or get Botox, even though I know them things will make me look better, but I don't really wanna look better.
Let's start with his long-standing feud with Steve Harvey, a saga so juicy it could fill its own Netflix series. Katt has never been shy about his disdain for Harvey, and it all came to a head during his infamous Club Shay Shay interview with Shannon Sharpe earlier this year. Katt called out Harvey in one of the most brutal ways possible, referring to him as a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good and look like Mr. Potato Head. And that wasn't even the worst of it. Katt claimed that Steve Harvey stopped doing stand-up, not because Harvey had 7 TV shows to juggle, as he once claimed, but because of a comedy battle between the two that allegedly left Harvey humiliated. According to Katt, this showdown went down in Detroit in front of a live audience of 10,000 people, And Katt didn't just win, he crushed him. Katt confidently stated that he told the audience Harvey was bald and that it was a wig, marking the end of his stand-up career. Whether or not this story is true is up for debate, but one thing is crystal clear. Katt Williams has no interest in letting Steve Harvey live it down.
10 million in a day. And counting, still going up.
Of course, Steve wasn't going to take this lying down. While he didn't respond directly to Katt's claims, his recent appearance on the VICE TV docuseries Black Comedy in America seemed like a thinly veiled clapback. Without naming names, Steve fired off some pointed remarks about other comedians who tear people down, saying just because you can talk smooth doesn't mean you ain't lying. He went on to call out the trend of comedians airing their grievances publicly, asking, when did we get into the tearing each other down business? It was clear he was speaking to Katt, even if he didn't say it outright. Steve also made it clear that he wasn't about to stoop to anyone's level, saying he had too much going on to waste time on haters. But let's be real, this feud is far from over. Knowing Katt, he's probably already plotting his next move.
Santa Claus, I'm taking him at his word because I wouldn't know that. Nobody has ever heard that before. I'm thinking that's truth because he's on the set.
And then there's Kevin Hart, another frequent target of Katt's ire. The tension between these two has been simmering for years, and every now and then it bubbles over into the public eye. During the same Club Shay Shay interview, Katt didn't hold back, calling Kevin Hart an industry plant and accusing him of taking roles that Katt himself had passed on. Katt claimed that for a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on his desk. He suggested that Hart was willing to play into stereotypes that Katt himself found offensive, asking to take some of this shuffling and pandering out, and they gave it to him instead. These are some heavy accusations, and Kevin Hart wasn't about to let them slide.
It became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped with you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose.
Oh.
In his response, Kevin took a surprisingly calm approach. Well, calm for Kevin Hart at least. It's entertainment, he said in a recent Wall Street Journal interview. If that's what fuels him, God bless him. I hope he gets all that he needs and wants. But don't let the diplomatic tone fool you. Kevin also made it clear that he's unbothered by Katt's remarks, adding, I'm here, cheering for him from afar. It's the kind of response that's so polished, you can't help but wonder if it came straight out of a publicist's playbook. Still, Kevin's refusal to engage in a back-and-forth war of words is a stark contrast to Katt's more confrontational style.
I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree, so you just hope that people can be smart enough.
But the list of Katt's conflicts doesn't end there. Let's talk about Diddy, because this one is a whole different level of messy. Katt has been dropping hints about Diddy's alleged shady behavior for years, but he really let loose during his Club Shay Shay interview. He didn't go into too much detail, probably because even Katt knows there are limits to what you can say without facing legal consequences, but he made it clear that he's not a fan. More recently, Katt doubled down on his disdain for Diddy in a social media post, joking that the music mogul would snitch on everybody following his recent legal troubles. The post was accompanied by an edited video clip that only added fuel to the fire. And let's not forget Katt's earlier comments about Diddy's infamous parties, which have long been the subject of rumors and speculation. You've got to tell him no, Katt said during a past interview, implying that he's had to turn down invitations to events hosted by Diddy. The subtext? Katt knows things he's not quite ready to share, but loves to tease.
Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
What's fascinating about Katt Williams' conflicts is that they're not just about ego or petty rivalries. At their core, they seem to stem from a deep sense of frustration with the entertainment industry and the people who run it. Katt has always positioned himself as an outsider, someone who refuses to play by the rules or sell out for fame. This rebellious streak is part of what makes him so appealing to his fans, but it's also what puts him at odds with so many of his peers. Whether he's accusing Cedric the Entertainer of stealing his jokes or calling out Tiffany Haddish for her rapid rise to fame, Katt's critiques often come across as a mix of genuine concern and thinly veiled resentment.
Apology, and I want to get this very clear. I want to make it very clear. Katt Williams is an amazing, talented comedian, which is why I'm so frustrated.
Take his beef with Cedric, for example. Katt has repeatedly accused Cedric of lifting one of his signature jokes and using it in the original Kings of Comedy. During his Club Shay Shay interview, Katt explained that the joke in question was his best joke, one that had already been featured on BET's Comic View. This is not just a random joke, Katt said, it's my closing joke. According to Katt, Cedric saw him perform the joke in 1998, complimented him on it, and then turned around and used it as his own. Cedric, for his part, has denied the allegations, calling them revisionist history. But the damage is done. The very fact that Katt continues to bring it up shows just how deeply this perceived betrayal has affected him.
We're in an interesting game.
We are.
Hey, 58 million views though.
Oh yeah. Almost 58 million views.
Yeah.
What makes this feud even more intriguing is the timeline. Cedric has claimed that the original Kings of Comedy was filmed in 2000, 2 years after the alleged incident at the Comedy Store. This has led fans and critics alike to debate whether Katt's accusations hold water or if they're part of a larger chip on his shoulder about not being included in the Kings of Comedy lineup. Some in the comedy world have speculated that Katt's frustration stems from feeling overlooked during a time when Cedric, Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, and D.L. Hughley were dominating the scene. Whether it's true or not, Katt's narrative has succeeded in stirring up doubt about the legacy of one of comedy's most beloved tours.
For everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
Kid, I need another one. You here, get your number.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Come on.
But the Cedric saga isn't just about professional jealousy, it's also about respect. Katt has built his career on the idea that originality is sacred, and for someone as protective of his craft as he is, accusations of theft cut deep. It's not just about losing a joke, it's about what that joke represents. To Katt, it's a symbol of his voice, his struggles, and his contributions to comedy. And when he feels that's been taken from him without acknowledgement, it's more than just a slight, it's personal. This might explain why, even decades later, Katt continues to bring up the incident, refusing to let it fade into the background like some forgotten punchline.
Well, but the truth is, in 20 years, I never been on a commercial audition in my life. Like, I never let my tour get sponsored when I was broke.
And then there's Tiffany Haddish, who found herself in Katt's crosshairs back in 2018. During a radio interview, Katt criticized Haddish's rise to fame, implying that she hadn't earned her success and was being propped up by the industry. "She ain't done a tour yet," he said at the time. "She ain't done 50 cities, she ain't done 100 cities." The backlash was swift, with many accusing Katt of tearing down a fellow comedian instead of celebrating her achievements. But if you know Katt, you know he doesn't back down easily. While he later apologized to Haddish, the incident added yet another name to the growing list of celebrities who felt the sting of Katt's criticism.
I never said anything bad about them, so it's something that's personal, and obviously they crying for help. So I'm gonna be kind.
So what's the takeaway here? Is Katt Williams a fearless truth teller who's unafraid to call out hypocrisy, or is he a provocateur who thrives on drama and conflict? Maybe he's a little bit of both? What's clear is that Katt's willingness to speak his mind, no matter the consequences, has made him one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. And love him or hate him, you can't deny that he keeps things interesting. The real question is, what or who will Katt Williams take aim at next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates as we continue to follow this unfolding story.